off or
Yep, I just turned on the recorder. So kind of you pretty much know everybody, gave a little introduction to Rocky and to Michael, and then I figured this call is more for you, Scott, to run and go over a little bit of your background and your experience, how you've been spent liking your time here at FiiZ, your past wins, what you're excited about for the future, and then you can open it up to questions at any time, or you can accept questions throughout the call, however you want to do this.
yeah, no, appreciate that. Before we do that, if you don't mind, let's just go around real quick. I pretty much know all of you guys. Rocky, we just met, and Michael, we just met. But um, Carrie, if you want to get started and just kind of do a quick introduction, who you are, where you're located, and then I'll kind of take it from there, and I'll do my shtick.
Yeah, my name is Carrie and I am in Orlando, Florida, and we just signed, so we're waiting for funding and started the loan process yesterday, so we are on our way to opening up some fizzes. We're probably gonna open up 5 in our area, hopefully future more. I just got someone at my actual nursing work who wants to invest in the second fizz and the third with me. And so like, I think this is gonna go a little faster than I thought probably. And so, yeah, we're excited to do it. So,
Good. And by the way, I got a call from Tyler yesterday. I know you spoke to Tyler at
yeah,
Cache Valley. He said you guys are great. So I think you're on your way there.
cool.
Cool. Great. Awesome. Who's next? Mr. Dickman.
Take off mute there. I am Daniel Dickman. I'm actually out of Oklahoma, and my partners, I got my brother Tim Dickman and Price Blanchard, who are out in Colorado. And so we have the Colorado and Oklahoma region, and super pumped to get this going. Got some pretty awesome, diverse partners, and looking forward to this. Pretty pumped.
Yeah, and we're excited. We're going to be doing, I think it's a 12 stores deal,
Correct.
for those two markets. So we're super excited. We're just finalizing that right now, and they've already been through the finance process, and so we're super excited to work with you guys. So thanks for joining us, Dan.
Anytime.
Okay, Rocky,
Yes, how are you?
good.
Yeah, so as you know, I'm based off Illinois. Uh, I own multiple businesses here in Illinois, most kind of restaurants, Subways, the coffee shop, and stuff. Uh, I heard about fees from a QSR, and I think a great concept. I talked to Justin a couple of times. I did went to see the Ohio store, met with the Brandon. He explained me the process and everything. He explained me the business and everything. You know, he gave us a really good insight of business. So I'm excited to open in Indiana. I mean, since you guys don't have Illinois available at the moment, so
Yeah, so just so you know, we're finalizing our registration in Illinois, right, Justin? So that's definitely something. And then Indiana is, I guess you're looking at the Indianapolis area. Is that,
yes,
yeah,
Indianapolis area.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a cool market. We're excited about that. We think you're going to be successful there. So that's great.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Zach, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm driving right now, so hopefully it doesn't cut in and out on me.
No,
Uh,
you're good.
yeah, excited to be here and see what you have to say. Learn
Yeah,
about.
and by the way, Zach is interested in some of our Utah markets, and we're working with Zach on some opportunities. So thanks for joining. And I guess last but certainly not least, Michael down in Texas.
Yeah, hey, sorry, I may have a little bit of a lag on mine as well. But yeah, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. I currently own a couple businesses, Christian Brothers Automotive and a medical device business. But we're natives. Well, my wife is to Utah, so we know the brand and the business well, and something we've always wanted to do. So we're super excited to figure it out and talk about it and see what we can get going.
That's awesome. Now, are you looking in the Dallas Fort Worth area, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir. Like pretty much in the Fort Worth area, maybe eventually over into Dallas. It,
Okay.
kind of depends on how rapid we grow, but where we're at, we're in North Fort Worth, so up by the Texas Motor Speedway area.
Okay.
And on that whole, Haslett, Keller, South Lake, Alliance area is my initial plan, because that's where all the growth is right now. And then, spread out for pretty much wherever we find a good business opportunity in the entire Metroplex, we're open to it.
Okay, great. Well, Texas is definitely one of our markets that we're very, very interested in, and really, in continuing to grow our brand. So on that note, so again, I'll introduce, and again, I know most of you, but my name is Scott Ball. I'm the president of FiiZ. I've been at FiiZ now for about 6 months. It's been a crazy ride, but super excited to be here. And we're doing a lot of great things at FiiZ. And one thing I will share with you guys also is we just finalized last week. We haven't even put it out yet, but it's going out this week. But we just signed a 100-store deal in Canada. And our first location is actually going to be opening in Toronto, literally, I think it's April 25th. So it's something we've been working on since I got here, but super excited. We got a great partner up there, and so we're excited about that. So there's a lot of good stuff going on at FiiZ. We're certainly in a growth mode. As I think I've said to everybody when I got here, one of the things I really wanted to spend a lot of time is on our operation side and making sure that we're maximizing, the units that we do have. I brought in a whole new ops team. We have a new director of ops. We have two new FBCs that are part of our team now, franchise business consultants. And we're super excited about, the path that we're taking and the road that we're going on. And, we're, like I said, we're spending a lot of time. Obviously, you guys are working with Justin. Justin's, responsible for our franchise sales. And we're getting a lot of activity all over. Texas being one of our hot markets right now. We're literally talking to people in Houston, Austin, Dallas, obviously Fort Worth. So we're getting a lot of traction there. So we're super excited. And the brand's doing well. We've got positive sales growth so far this year. We're pretty excited about that. Since I've come on, we've created a whole R&D team now. So we're doing a lot of product development. Unfortunately, in the past, there wasn't really a lot of product development going on, but it's crucial to help to continuing to grow and to build your sales and build your customer base. So we actually are going into test with 6 or 7 products on May 1st that we're going to be testing in. I think we have like 7 stores that are going to be testing a variety of different products. And then if that goes well, that'll be a 60-day test. And depending on how that goes, we'll be launching potentially 30 days, after that. So we've got a pretty busy summer from a product development standpoint. We've also got some new beverages coming out. Typically, as part of our marketing calendar, we like to sprinkle in some new drinks and new food items. So we've got our first LTOs of the year coming out in July and into August. We got a horchata drink, and we also have a pina colada drink. So super excited. We partnered actually with Pepsi on that. Pepsi's one of our obviously one of our main partners. We do have contracts with Coke, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper. Also excited to announce that we're working with Dr. Pepper on some product development stuff that we're excited to launch in the fall. So there's a lot going on the product development side. Super, super cool. And again, everything we do is about growing our sales. I mean, it's about growing our sales and making you guys more profitable. And that's kind of my mantra. We're pretty much an all franchisee system, and our success is your success. If you guys aren't successful, then we as a brand are not going to be successful. So when I tell you I have your back and I'm here to help you guys and support you guys, that's what we're going to do. So whether it's our supply chain or our marketing team or our ops team, or our implementation team, our real estate and development team, I think we've got some really good people here that are going to help you guys, be successful, and continue to grow. So, yeah, got a lot going on with the brand right now. Again, we're pretty happy, pretty excited about it. There's always some bumps in the roads, but that's just the way of the world, right? But again, things are going well right now, and we're excited to potentially work with some of you guys. I know some of you guys. Orlando's already signed on, and I know Oklahoma and Denver, they're getting close to signing. And but I'm here for you guys. So I'll open it up. And if you guys have any questions, feel free. And I look forward to chatting with you guys. Don't all speak at once. Come on.
I have a question that maybe is not appropriate for this, but I'll just ask it
Yeah,
anyway.
please.
You know, we have Universal City Walk and we have Disney Springs here.
Mhm.
Are there any thoughts of, would it be a corporate store that would go into either one of those locations? I don't think you would want to go into both. And then
No.
I do know that FiiZ is, or Swig is, I know the guy who owns the Swig franchise here in Orlando. And I know he's opening a second one here in St. Cloud, but he is not thinking of going into Disney Springs or Universal right now.
Yeah, so the short answer is no. I'm not looking to open up any corporate stores.
Okay.
That's why I have you guys, right? So
So we could choose, so we could talk to both Universal and Disney and try to figure out.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have learned a little bit about our process just being where you're at. But yeah, if you guys come up with a site, if you want to be in Disney Springs and you found and there's open space there and you feel that that's a good location, which by the way, I do think that is a good location. That's a
Oh,
high
yeah.
traffic area. It's an all year traffic.
It would not be a drive-through one, obviously, right? Because it's
It would
Disney
not, obviously not, but that's a
Right.
destination site. So that's a little bit different, right?
Right, and their prices would be like jacked up, you know that, they would be double the price probably, because
It
Disney
could be.
Springs
Yeah.
has like a royalty as well.
Yeah, and by the way, they probably have a pretty steep rent in there also, if I had to
Yes,
guess.
they do, yes.
So you'd have to do your projections and do your due diligence, but yeah, I'm not adverse to that. That's a very unique location, right? So absolutely, if there's an opportunity there, I think that would be fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question. And by the way, just so the group knows, I mean, most of our stores are drive-through. We do have a couple of inline unique locations. But again, typically about 85% of our business goes through the drive-through. So that's why we really do, you know, we recommend if you can find the drive-throughs or the end caps with the drive-through, that will help. We're actually, as part of our new design layouts, we're actually minimizing even our front lobby area because we understand that, you know, the drive-through is where the business is going. We have some stores now that only have walk-up windows. They don't even have a front lobby area. And even if you look at some of our competition, they don't even have lobbies. Like they don't even build them anymore. So I don't know if we want to necessarily go there, although we are looking at some modular units. So some container / module units where it's a drive-through only, but we can get you 600 or 700 square feet and get a drive-through, you know, built around. That just provides an opportunity for, you know, if you can't find that other type of space, but you've got a pad, you know, it may make sense to just, you know, plop on a modular unit on a pad. So we are looking at that as well. And I think that will be part of our portfolio moving forward.
So I wouldn't normally ask this question, but the other question I have is there are a few malls here in Orlando that are highly trafficked because of the tourists. Is it okay to do?
Yes.
When we
So
look at the foot traffic for some of these malls, like I'm thinking of the one over just off of I can't even forget it. I forget about it, but you can never find parking space there, you know.
Yeah.
And I know that there are a few empty spots there where we could actually put a store, a walk up.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So the deal we did in Canada with our developer, believe it or not, they're doing a lot of malls, mostly because that's the big real estate in there. Whereas in the US, I mean, I think we would all agree, typically malls are kind of a dying breed. However, there are some very, very successful malls out there.
Or outlet malls, right?
Yeah. So, you know, so if you find the right mall that has the traffic, and there's space available, I would say absolutely take a look at them. It's a different model, right? And by the way, the mall unit we just did in Toronto, it's 200 square feet. It's very, very small. And believe it or not, we packed everything in just like we would on 1,000 square foot location. So yeah, I'm not adverse to doing malls. Again, as long as the traffic is there and it's a destination site, absolutely. Typically it's a lower cost of entry, but you can also do some pretty high volumes in malls. So yes, not adverse to that.
We wouldn't choose a mall that's not highly trafficked. Like there's a lot of dead malls in Orlando, but there's probably 2 or 3 that are very highly trafficked due to tourists.
Great. Awesome.
Scott, could you talk a little bit more about those modules, kind of where you're at with that? Because I love the idea, like, but what's the overall, would it be, hey, you guys would have a group we would work with the modulars, or would it be something that we would have to find a manufacturer locally that would do that? Like, kind of picking your brain,
Yes.
where are you going with that?
Yeah, great question. So right now we're working with an architectural design firm. And we've kind of asked them, say, listen, help us create a modular, option for our franchisees. Our thought process is there are modular companies out there that this is all they do. And what we would potentially do is, once we've got the design, we would then refer you directly to that modular company and you would work directly with them. And the thought process would be, they'll design it, they'll build it, and then they'll just ship it, to you. Potentially, we could have multiple modular companies, one maybe more on the East Coast, one maybe more on the West Coast, because obviously shipping becomes a challenge, right? Like you got to ship the product and, and so forth. My hope is that we find a company or we settle on a company that can handle everything, because that would make the most sense. And yeah, basically we would give you the specs and, there may be some slight modifications to it, but that's just something that you can just drop on a pad somewhere. Keeping in mind with a modular also is, you're getting the actual building structure, but you're still going to have to do some groundwork, right? So potentially you might have to put in the plumbing, you might have to put in the electrical and all that. And that would be something in addition, but that's pretty much our plan, is to have a one-stop shop. We work with ABC Modular. And Dan, you reach out to them and you give them the specs and they create it for you and, you're off and running. That's kind
And
of.
how far out are we on something like that? I know you're talking to them. Are we thinking like in the next year, next 2 years, or next 60 days? Like, what?
No, I think we'll have a design and hopefully a company select. The good news about modular is it doesn't take long to build, right?
Right.
So once we've create the floor plan and the base plan, I'm thinking that within 6 months, we should have some options that can get ready to be ordered and get out into the field. That's my goal.
Okay.
If I can have that done by the end of the year, that would be huge.
Yes.
Just so you guys know, we actually just finalized our new, what that FiiZ of the future is going to look like from an interior design kind of structure layout, color schemes, and all that. So we just did all that and we're super excited. And those new looks, so those will probably be the new looks that you guys will be, potentially, building as we move forward. And it's not a huge change from where we're at right now. We feel like our brand's got a little bit of nostalgia to it. So we didn't want to just throw all that away, but at the same time, we wanted to kind of modernize it a little bit and throw in some colors and make it, our brand is fun and it's exciting. And we wanted to make sure we kind of kept that element as part of it. And by the way, and Dan knows this, but his two other partners came down to Salt Lake and we actually toured them on one of the new locations. It's not the latest and greatest, but it's close. And I think they were pretty impressed with that. And, so we're excited about that. So these are some tweaks that we're doing. And, like I said, that'll be ready literally in the next couple of weeks. And then basically the way that process will work is, and you guys in Orlando will know this, that once you've picked a site, you're going to select an architect. We can help you with that process, or if you've got somebody locally, fine. We'll literally send you over our brand standards design package. Your architect will incorporate that into their design and their layout. And then once you sign off on that, and once we as a brand sign off on that, you'll then send that out to a general contractor and you'll put it out for bid. Typically, we tell you to go out and get 3 bids. You'll go out, you'll get bids on that, and then you'll be off. They'll submit for permits and you'll be off and running. We had a whole conversation the other day about permitting, and some places takes, literally just a few weeks, and some municipalities or counties can take months. So that's where we kind of don't have control. You guys know your areas, but I'm sure Chicago and Naperville is probably a lot more challenging than a small town in Utah or something like that. But, but that's the thing that we help you and we go through that process. So I hope, Dan, I answered your question. I hope.
Yeah, you did. That's perfect. Awesome.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
So by any chance, Scott, would you guys have a new design pictures or anything? What the new design will look like or anything like that?
Yeah, I can forward you. I'll forward them to Justin. I have our architect. Yeah, I can send over to you what we've
Okay,
got. Some
because
stuff.
the one I went to, the Ohio one, I think it's the older store, right?
It
Like
is
two
an older story. Yeah, it's a couple years old now. I'll even send you pictures of our Cedar Hills location, which is kind of our latest and greatest.
Okay,
Again, there's going to be some slight modification to it, but it'll give you an idea. Yeah,
perfect.
absolutely. Justin, remind me to send you all that, and we'll go from there.
So one other quick question, you know, because we're at this stage, do you have a pro forma template that goes out, you know, 1 to 3 years for the SBA loan application?
Yeah. Let me see what we have. We can forward it. We could probably give you a template.
Okay.
Yep.
Or we could help build one. We have a son that owns an accounting firm, but
Yeah, I can give you just like the way we kind of look at it. So I'll send it over. Justin, just make a note of that and we'll get them over.
One more question. So like, do you also have something like, you know, Facebook has, I worked in a large consulting firm for a long time. We used, is it Facebook Workplace or something?
Yep.
Do you have that for the franchisees or?
We do. We have all that. We have a Google business account that we're going to set up for you guys. So we do it all. So a couple things on social media. Number one, we do a lot of content through our corporate pages, but we'll also set you guys up for your individual pages as well. We also work with iHeartMedia. You guys are probably familiar with iHeartRadio, but they also have a media division. They actually manage all of our social media for us. So we will work directly with you. We will get you connected to to ours, and you'll be off and running on that. So we create a lot of content. We'll make sure that all that content goes off to you guys. But at the same time, at the local level, if you want to create some content or your customers create content, you're more than able and willing to share that, on your own local social media as well.
Okay.
Yep. Great question.
So Scott, so what are you guys projecting to open? Like how many stores in 2 years?
Yeah, great question. So our goal is to get to our goal is to sign up for about 400 plus units over the next 3 years. So that's the path we're on. I can tell you so far we're in what are we in actually? We're in April. I'm actually looking at my board right now, but we've signed on 132 stores so far in the first quarter. So, and again, those are all going to open at different stages. But that's kind of where we're at right now. And what's really nice about our plan is, we've been very central to, obviously Utah being our base, but we've now opened up in Washington State. We've opened up in Nevada. We just signed another deal in Nevada in the Reno market. We want to get more into Texas. We want to get into the Midwest. The Southeast is a big part of our plan. James and Carrie in Orlando, and we're talking in South Florida and Tampa and even Jacksonville. We just signed a deal in the New York metropolitan area for Westchester County in Connecticut. So we're moving, and we're getting a lot of excitement on the brand, and you guys are part of that. I mean, obviously you heard about us. I think somebody mentioned they saw us in QSR magazine. And we're out and about, and we're doing our thing. We got some exciting sponsorships that we're doing. We've got some influencer marketing that we're in the process of doing. So there's a lot of excitement around the brand, and it's starting to show up. And most of our growth is honestly going to be, moving east, right? Utah especially, we've got some spots in Utah, and we've got probably 4 or 5 of those that are going to open this year. But the majority of our growth is really going to be from, heading from Utah, Denver, Midwest. We're talking with people, I think, in Pittsburgh and Ohio, and and all that. So we're making our way. We just opened up a store in Mississippi. We have one in North Carolina. So our hope is to continue to grow, those markets and so forth. And the other thing I'll just say on our growth strategy, guys, is we're not looking to open up one location in areas. We're only selling a minimum of 5 stores right now, and in some cases more, just depending on the market. But that's really to benefit you guys, because the more stores we get open in a market, there's an economies of scale there. It helps us on a supply chain standpoint. It helps us on marketing. It helps us on brand equity, in an area. So that's why, we're doing it. To just open one store. And by the way, just to be full disclosure, prior to me and prior to the company that owns the brand now, they just opened up, one store in Texas, one store here, one store there. That strategy doesn't work. It doesn't benefit them. So everything we do now is going to be from a strategic standpoint. We're going to do them in clusters. Because if I got to open up a distribution center, right, to get you the best pricing, I can't just have one. I got to have multiple stores. So that's kind of our plan. And so, yeah, I hope I answered your question, Rocky. I know it was
Yes, you did. So
long-winded way to get to it, but yeah, we are expanding, and we're pretty excited about it.
No, right, absolutely, yeah. So my question was just basically part of like, you guys are based off Utah. We don't have many FiiZ stores in the. I mean, I haven't seen in Indiana or like Kentucky anywhere else. We will be the first one opening it.
You will be in the first one in quote unquote Indianapolis. You'll be the first. And by the way, there's something to be said for being first to market. I will tell you. Just
absolutely, yes. That's why I want to get into the market.
Yeah. So you get in, you get to, do your thing and pump it out. And we got a whole marketing and PR plan. We have not only do we work with iHeartMedia on social media, but we have an incredible PR firm that we use that really will work with you guys locally. So super excited. And I'll tell you what I'm really excited about, honestly, is we're opening up in markets that outside of Utah, and they're opening up very successful. My Nevada stores are my highest volume stores pretty much in our system right now. It's crazy how busy those are. And by the way, I'm talking Vegas and I'm talking in Elko, Nevada, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere. But they're really doing well. I mean, these are stores that are doing, 25,000 plus a week. So super excited about those, those opportunities.
Absolutely. Thank you for the answer.
No, you're welcome. Anything else?
Hey, Scott, this is Michael.
Hey, Michael.
And just a question, kind of following up on that. Is there, in Texas, I know there's, I think, a shop in Houston and one in Frisco. Not, there's not really the name, brand recognition. And I know you're saying just when y'all were opening up, they're highly successful in some of those places. Have you seen, like, as you go further away from your home base where name's not out there yet, the reception any different from obviously say in even Nevada or Utah, where, you'll probably have a pretty decent name recognition there? How quick are you seeing those shops take off? And is it, I mean, I know it's kind of on the heels of what you just talked about, but you know what I'm saying, as far as marketing, name, getting it going off the ground. I mean, you kind of look at it from a standpoint of profitability, and I know we've got the FDD, but is it, are you looking at like a 4-month, a 2-year time? I mean, and I know there's so many variables, so it nothing specific. I was just curious as if we start opening up here in Fort Worth, are we going to be struggling for a while? I guess what's the expectation there?
Yeah, and listen, our goal is that, let me answer this a couple ways. Number one, our goal is to make you as profitable as quickly as you possibly can, right? So we're going to do everything we can from operations, marketing, PR, and so forth to make sure that, you're successful. And generally speaking, forgetting FiiZ, but just generally speaking, in any new business, you don't typically make money, in your first 6 months to year. You just have to, kind of depends on the concept. So I think everybody should just kind of go off of that. And again, everybody's success and levels of success or what they think is successful are different, right? But generally speaking, anytime you start a new business, there is a ramp up period. So I think everybody, probably understands that. As I referenced earlier, one of the issues that the brand made, and one of the mistakes the brand made, in my opinion, is that we did go into Texas and we did open up one store out here and one store out in there, but there was no real strategic reason for doing that. And I'm not going to lie, those stores have struggled more than others because they're kind of one-offs in the middle of nowhere, so to speak. And that's why the strategy is a little different, very different now, in that we're going into markets and we want to literally take over an entire market, or we want to sell, multiple stores in the market. So that's kind of our strategy. And we think with our marketing and our PR and our supply chain opportunities, we think by going that strategy, this will put you guys in a position to be, much more successful. The other thing I'll say about Texas is, and I know you're in Texas, Michael, is Swig just went in, and they just went into, I think,
Yep.
the Dallas market. Man, they killed. They're doing really well. So they're a perfect example. And even though they're not, I mean, we're similar, but we're obviously different. But I'm excited to know that they're doing well in that market, because even though I would love to be first to market in there, and I think Fort Worth, you can be first to market. But I do think the fact that they're doing well, I think, is a positive, right? So I think that just shows that there's a need for, our product line and our concept, and so forth.
Oh, thank you for that. And I agree 1,000,000%. I think, we have a Swig in Saginaw, which is where we frequently go. And it's probably a 15-20 minute drive for us. And it's a wrap, line wrapped around the building every single time we go there. And like I said, my wife's from Minden or Logan, Utah. So we've seen FiiZ, and we've been through there, up there, and then down here it's been Swig, because there's not a FiiZ bias.
Correct.
And so that's what essentially led us to you guys, because I agree. I think there's something to be said for being first to market.
Yep.
And no, we're excited about the opportunity.
Okay, great. No, that's awesome. And again, Texas, and Justin knows this, we talk about Texas all the time, but Texas is a market that we gotta get in there, because first of all, everything's big in Texas. I get that, but it's a great market.
Yeah.
You got some great hubs. I mean, between the Dallas, the Houston market, there's a lot of interest right now in Austin, San Antonio. I mean, there's some big metropolitan areas that I think will do very well. And by the way, I think there are probably some great opportunities even in some of the areas, maybe an hour outside of those areas. But I do, and we see that in some of our other markets, right? Some areas that you don't necessarily, like I told you about this Elko, Nevada location. I mean, it's literally in the middle of nowhere, but man, it's just jammed. I mean, it's just always busy. So listen, when I came on board, I will be honest with you guys, I was concerned that, we had to prove this concept outside of Utah, right? And so far, the results have been strong. And I got to tell you, all my new units that have opened recently, my units that are opening outside of Utah are outperforming my new Utah units. So just to kind of put that in perspective a little bit. So, and I got to be honest, I was nervous. Like, I didn't know how we were going to do in Washington State and, Nevada and, in some of these other areas. So, but like I said, I'm excited. We changed our marketing approach to that. When we open up, especially in these new market, guys, I'm just letting you know, we're going to come in hot, right? We're going to be giving away a lot of product for the first few days in the first week, because we want people to know our product. We feel that once people come in and try our product, they're coming back, right? So that strategy for us has really worked, especially in these new markets. In some areas, everybody knows who we are and they're just excited for when we open up. But for some of these new markets, we just got to get our customers and our local, our local bases to just come in, try our product, and kind of go from there. So.
Yep. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. All right. Anything else, guys? And by the way, just on that, I think you guys mentioned Carrie and James, but Swig just went into the Orlando market, and they're also, I mean, I think you said your friend's running it, but they're doing well. And
they're top in their market right now for Swig.
Yeah.
He doesn't know we're doing, he's my commercial real estate broker. He does not know we're doing FiiZ.
So he tells us everything.
We had a relationship with him before we signed up to do FiiZ. So.
Got it. Well, I won't tell him.
He's telling us everything, and he's like, they're the #1 store in the whole country now.
He'll find out, and it'll be a slightly embarrassing moment. But yeah, we'll be okay. We'll just coordinate on location.
Yes, that's the thing. We're gonna have to figure that one out, because I don't want to be I mean, I guess there's something about competing with them. I don't know how to. I'm not sure how to work that out. That's one thing we're gonna probably have to talk about.
I'll tell you a quick story in closing here, is that we opened up a location, a FiiZ in Cedar Hills. We actually have a few, I don't know if you guys know the area, but we have a couple other stores that are really good locations for us, within a few miles away, but enough that it was far enough away where it could act on its own. And literally, we opened up and there's a Swig literally right down the street. This store opened in December, okay? Swig from December 15th through literally last week was selling all their products for $1. They were so aggressive, almost egregious in trying to put us out of business before we ever opened. And the franchisee, I got to tell you, was nervous. Like he was really, really nervous. He was anxious. Like, oh my God, this is not going to work, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, just be patient, be patient. You know, we gave him all the tools. We did some unique marketing things. We did everything we had to do just to keep him going. And he slowly and slowly and slowly, guys, I won't give you the exact number, but Swig ended their dollar promotion literally last week. And last week he literally doubled his sales since the Swig stopped that. And by the way, he was doing okay. He was above break even leading up to that, but all of a sudden, like boom, like I saw his sales numbers last week and I was like, holy shit, like is this a typo? I'm like, Swig must have stopped their, their promotion. But it was incredible. I mean, it was really, really incredible. And so he's super excited. And you know what? He worked hard. He got in the community. I mean, he actually got to a point where he was getting customers to turn against Swig because they were kind of putting it out there that like, Swig's doing this intentionally to put us out of business. And, and just the word kind of got out there like, this isn't good business and, and all that stuff. So the point is that they withstood it. They were able to get past them and now they're, they're on their way. So we're pretty excited about that. But anyway, guys, listen, it was a real pleasure to talk to you guys and meet with you guys. And as I say this all the time, and I know Dan knows this and Carrie, just I'm available if you ever want to chat or you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Obviously, you've got a relationship with Justin. So feel free to reach out to Justin as well. But yeah, we're here for you. We're excited to work with you guys, and hopefully James and Carrie, you guys have had a positive experience, and Dan so far in your process. But we're here for you guys. We're a franchise system, and we're here to support you guys. That's our job. That's 100% what we do. So we're pretty excited about it.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the call today.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys. Everybody have
I'll
a
be in
great
touch with
day.
you, Justin. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yep.